You know?
Yeah, well, it's definitely not like, it's not like top of the list. It's just kind of like when, I'm just kind of transitioning in this little light conversation we're having. So I'm just like, all right, cool beans. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I wouldn't be like.
I'm just fascinated to hear that phrase come out of that face.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just saying, but like if I was watching like a basketball game and somebody dunked, I wouldn't be like, cool beans. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, here's my thing. It's like when you see an Asian person and then they speak and they have a British accent, it just messes with you a little bit because it's like, that's not what I thought was. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just startling.
For sure.
All right.
It's a lady that works at the New York Film Academy here who Asian woman with a British accent. Exactly what you said.
See, I was in Scotland last year and I was at a pub and I met this Asian woman with a Scottish accent and it almost broke my brain. Like, again, nothing wrong with it, nothing bad. It's just, it's the same. It's like, it's the same thing. Like if you saw a Rottweiler running up to you and then it just went meow, like that's not what you're supposed to do.
Right. I feel you. That makes sense. All right. Shout out to all the British accent Asians out there.
Yeah. Shout out to every Hispanic or Latino that has an Irish accent. I know you exist. You're a rare thing, but it's crazy.
You out there. Gotcha. All right, cool, man. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, saints. The doors of the church are open. We are Preacher's Kids. We are the Worst Ones podcast. Welcome to our channel, our station, our platform to be able to express our opinions on your opinions about us, pretty much. My name is Rudy Wilson, joined as always by my co-host. I got the wonderfully talented Janessa Rowland, no relation to Kellie, and and of course Terry Wayne, no relation to Bruce. All right,
that's right.
How you guys doing today?
Doing good.
I've had better days.
You've had better? Gotcha. Have you also had worse? Is this like in the middle, or is this like, one of the worst ones?
Well, it's like I just posted. It's like I just posted on Facebook. I'm pretty sure that I've said this can't be happening more times than this year than the rest of my life combined.
Gotcha. That's fair. Yeah.
Now,
2020.
I'm off today and off for the rest of the week, so this is great for me.
Just rub it directly in our face.
No, I'm not mad at you. Nothing like a good day off. I don't know about y'all, but for me, I almost like kind of dread day offs, if you will. And granted, I haven't had a traditional job outside of the military a couple years ago, in a minute. So, but even outside of that, like it's hard for me to like go to the relax mode and then get back into the groove of things. Cause like once I'm in relax mode, like I'm ready to stay there. Like if I go on like a nice vacation somewhere, like I don't want to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm ready to just stay in that mode. So I don't know about, is that the same for y'all, or can y'all bounce back?
I thought you had a regular job. Don't you sell recycled Christmas trees? Isn't that right?
Well, no, I didn't. If I was selling them, I wouldn't have this one. I got this recycled.
I thought this was advertising for your business.
No. I'm on the receiving end of the recycled Christmas tree. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I don't say. Yeah. But I mean, it's hard for me. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm low key lazy. I'm either one side. Like I'm either on the lazy side or the grinding side. There is no middle ground for me. Like I'm just. It's either or, basically.
Well, like I tried to take off several days in a row because I'm kind of like you. Like one day it's cool, but
right.
So yeah, it was a state holiday, and then I think Friday's my flex day. I'm off every other Friday anyway, so I just kind of took off Thursday. Why would I go to work on Thursday?
So y'all was off for Veterans Day.
Yes.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. You said no, I think you were saying yes to Veterans Day. I don't know about working the system. I think.
No, I'm off.
No. He's working the system by saying, "Hey, I'm off Friday. I'm off Wednesday. I'm not coming in Thursday."
Mm-mm.
Why would I do that when I could have a 5-day vacation?
No, it's Veterans Day, and then I'm already off Friday, so I just went ahead and took off Thursday.
And you have weekends off too?
Mm-hmm.
That's 5 days. Work that system, girl.
Hey,
I don't even know what you're doing here. Go take a vacation or something. Drive somewhere.
Not with Corona. Not with
Disney
the
World's open. They're fine.
Oh.
Go on Splash Mountain and get splashed with COVID.
Oh my gosh, that would be awful. You remember growing up in Atlanta, it was a whole thing at Whitewater. It's a water park called Whitewaters in Atlanta. When we was growing up, they had a heavy E. coli problem. Like
heavy.
Getting sick left and right. Like I never was able to even go my whole life because when we were younger, they had that E. coli outbreak. And my parents were like, "Yeah, y'all ain't going to Whitewaters ever." Like it ain't
Oh yeah. Like we had one of those in Memphis too. It was called Liberty Land, and it was basically like it was a state fair, but it didn't move. So it was like that. They had everything that a state fair had, but maybe the roller coaster was a little bigger. But I'm pretty sure that Liberty Land is where hepatitis started. You know?
Okay.
Fairly certain of it.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Sense. Well, dope, man. Glad to see you, you good folks. I guess have we talked since the whole? We haven't talked since the election, I guess, right? We haven't spoken since then.
We were trying to wait for the.
Right.
Yeah, we're still waiting, but
we're still waiting.
You're gonna,
no,
yeah,
we know.
You're gonna. No, we're still waiting now. We're waiting to see that if in 3 months we'll either be a democracy or a banana republic.
So you don't think the announcement is sufficient? You think all the backtracking is that's what you're going off of?
I am going off the reaction of some sitting senators and a lot of apathy towards somebody that's essentially just stomping their foot and pitching a fit over not getting what they want, which is I totally expected that to happen. I mean, when you look at the man's personality and his morality, everything justifies the ends, right?
Right.
The ends justifies any means. The thing that scares me is watching sitting senators placating this guy's ego while undermining our electoral system. That's what bothers me. If it was close, if it was like 2000, I don't know if you were down here, but I voted in Palm Beach County in 2000, and it was really close. It came down to a few hundred votes to win not only just the state, but the whole shebang. It all came down to this. So that's a different story. Razor thin margins, you got to do recounts, you got to do challenges, you got to do this and that. Totally understandable. But trying to flip multiple states to try and take an election, it's scary, man. It's kind of scary.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
It's definitely not going to happen. But here's my problem. There's a lot. I'm not saying all Trump supporters. I'm not saying all Republicans. I'm just saying there's a large percentage. I would say probably 10% of his base that are already so feverish that if he actually doesn't concede ever and there is a transfer of power, I think they will lash out. And these are not the kind of people that you want to see on the news lashing out.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Or does this
I just don't give a damn about any politics. I mean, whoever's on whatever side, like, I mean, I always just, pay attention enough to know which way I need to go because I am going to exercise my right to vote because I do have one. But like outside of that, I mean, honestly, I don't stress nobody but my own life, bro. Like, I don't care if you're a politician. I don't care whatever. Like, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying that 10%. Yeah, but you're in LA, so you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, but I've been in LA a year. I've lived everywhere else, since then.
Yeah, I know, but you're there now. That's what I'm saying. You're there now. You'll be there for the next 3 months. I'm talking about in swing states. I'm talking about in states that have metropolitan areas and then a lot of rural areas around.
But I'm still saying the outcome in general. I'm just saying, like, you're saying everything that leads up to the outcome. I'm just saying even whatever the outcome is, I mean,
I'm
it just
saying
is
that
what it
if
is.
by January 20th he hasn't conceded, there might be violence in the streets from some of his supporters. That's what I'm saying.
You know, I've already kind of heard that in Georgia, but let me tell you, we got some folks that are ready to nuck if you buck. So
But that's what I'm saying. It is what it is. Like,
Right,
I think
I'm not
I
saying
think
win
some
or
people.
lose.
No, I'm saying I think some people are going to do violent stuff, but I also don't think they're anticipating the buck that's going to come back. Not going to just be, oh, we're going to loot or do violence and no one's going to, do anything in return from what I've been hearing.
But neither one of those is a good outcome. Do you understand? Like, it's not supposed to work this way. It's just not.
It's a lot. It's a lot that's not supposed to work the way that it is, but it does. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of like, hey, that's why you got to pray. You feel me? That's why we're doing this podcast. We're preachers' kids. We do what our parents taught us to do. We pray. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what the cook is doing in the kitchen when he cooking your food. We don't know. He can pull his meat out and stir the stew with it. You feel what I'm saying? But what we do, we pray over our food and we eat it. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what somebody's cooking up. All we can do is pray and keep it moving. You feel me?
See, but that's kind of the problem too, because there's, again, 10% of that base thinks that this man was sent by God, and they will defend him as if he.
That's a personal problem they got to deal with, brother. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but when you get somebody's religion mixed in, like, you're willing to die for it at that point.
I didn't say nothing about getting religion mixed in. All I'm saying.
No, I am. I'm saying that a lot of people believe this man to be sent by God.
Listen, I understand that. Yeah. Listen, I've had women tell me that I was sent by God to be their husband, and I'm still not married. I mean, none of that is relevant to me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what anybody. You feel what I'm saying? Like, hey, listen, you can think what you want to think. That it is what it is. That's all I'm saying. It is what it is. Everybody think what you want. I'm not trying to stop you. You feel me? Not you. I'm saying them. Like, whoever. I'm saying. I'm not trying to stop you. You feel me? So, anyways, moving right along to our topic of today, something I want to discuss with you guys. Very actually interested in your perspectives on this, because so not so much you guys, maybe even not so much the circle or your parents or whatever, but just say a faith-based people in general, when it comes down to their morals of what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So of course, you got the broader ones, like, religious or not, or God or no God, obviously you shouldn't be killing and stealing. Those are like two big things. We're just like, don't rob nobody. Definitely don't be killing nobody. Okay, cool. But even just on your everyday stuff, right? No lying, fornication, using profanity, getting drunk, using drugs, whatever, twerking, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of a list of stuff I've heard complaints about. Whatever. Right? Mm-hmm. Wearing little, skimpy stuff, whatever. Okay. Playing the lottery. So talking to somebody about that. There's people who frown upon these things, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. But then, if I ask someone who told me, and I'm just using a simple scenario, if somebody told me you shouldn't use profanity, right? And if I turn around and ask them what is their favorite movie, I guarantee you it has profanity in it. If I ask them what's their favorite song or what's their anything dealing with entertainment, I guarantee you they're not watching a bunch of just Christian-based content. It's not happening. It's not happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I once again, they could let's act like we're on a video game. We're gonna make a creative player, right? This person doesn't exist in real life, but just for this scenario, this person, as for them and their actions, they don't do anything sinful, right? They don't any sin that you could possibly think of, big, small, or indifferent, they don't participate in. But they do watch and enjoy content that would be considered sinful nature. Okay. My question is, I guess to a certain extent, I don't know if I want to say is that okay, because I don't think we can dictate, that. But just what are your thoughts about that? We'll start with you, Janessa. Just what are your thoughts about that scenario I painted? And if I need to explain further, I can, but I'll just leave it kind of broad at that for now.
Can you come back to me? I'm formulating.
Okay.
Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, I formulate them while I'm talking. That way, he's completely nonsensical as I can make it.
Right.
I have about 5 uncles, so I'm not going to call out anybody in particular, but I do have 2 that make good examples for this. I have one that is super religious. I mean, doesn't even like the image of Santa being portrayed around Christmas.
For sure.
Calls him Satan Claus.
For sure.
Because he takes away,
You rearrange the letters. Right.
Well, no, he just takes away attention away from Jesus.
Birth of Jesus.
At
For sure.
Christmas time.
And your parents' hard work.
Right.
Because they bought.
And then I've got another uncle who's just as Christian, but not as not as strict when it comes to that thing. And this guy loves action movies, and I mean, just the gorier, the better, the bloodier, the better, the more violent, the better. He loves all that kind of stuff, and it just shows me 2 different ways. Now, you say nobody's like that, where they don't consume anything that would be considered unchristian or unmoral. You're kind of wrong about that, because Uncle A definitely is one of those dudes. Would never listen to anything that wasn't considered Christian.
But my question is for the people who do. It's not for the person who does it. My question is for the people who do.
Okay. Well, to me, it's more about I believe there's a verse. I'm trying to remember it, but I believe there's a verse that oh God, I can't remember it. I'm having a brain fart right now. Basically, I'll just paraphrase it. Basically, it's not what comes out of your mouth, but what lies in your heart that God's looking for, right? That was just something I remember hearing in my younger years. But again, when you look at the verbiage of it, it's what comes out of your mouth, not what goes into your ears. So it's kind of like the Bible never says that drinking alcohol is a sin, right? In fact, it's full of people drinking alcohol all throughout the Old and New Testament.
But let me stop before you keep going, Terry. I'm not here to determine what's considered sin or not. I just threw out stuff that's frowned upon. My simple question is, for the same things that somebody who would be religious, Christian, or whatever would tell you not to do, they will consume content, i.e. a movie or whatever, that will have those same things in it. It'll have a sex scene. It'll have cursing in it. It'll have drinking. It'll have smoking in it. It'll have lying in it. It'll have whatever. Now, and their argument will be, well, I'm watching this. This is entertainment. It's not me doing it. But at the same time, but there's human beings on the screen who have to do it, whether they happen to do it to play a role or whatever.
So
they
you're
still have to do it.
You're being complicit in somebody else doing not only that, but you're encouraging it by supporting it, by watching it, right?
Right, because
so you're like an accessory to you're an accessory to sin.
My argument is that somebody could say, well, that's an actor and they're just playing a role. Okay, but let's just say if you were in that position, would you be willing to play that role for the sake of this role getting done? And if you wouldn't be, then why would you be okay with somebody else doing it for the sake of you being able to get that entertainment?
Porn stars are just actors too. They're just playing roles as well.
I'm not determining who's an actor or not. What I'm saying is,
but if you're going off that line of logic and you're saying, hey, it's just a job, they're just doing a job to make a living. It's like, yeah, so are prostitutes and drug dealers.
Oh,
and
right.
porn stars.
For sure, for sure. No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But that's kind of the. And once again, I'm not saying that these are you guys' thoughts in particular, but there are people I've definitely had people even just in my own life tell me don't do this or don't do that, but then once again they'll watch this or listen to this or whatever the case may be. And once again, some of them are even deeper than that and just participating in it altogether, even themselves. But I'm not even trying to go that deep in what they're doing. It's just even about how can you be okay with somebody else doing it for the sake of your own enjoyment of entertainment. But
Right.
if the shoe was on the other foot, would you be willing to play that same part to do? Because if you're doing a sex scene or whatever in the movie, granted it's acting, it's not actual penetration, but you're definitely kissing. Y'all are definitely, grade school hunching like when we used to play house. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all are thrusting.
Look, I
pebbles.
see what you're saying, but yes, it's just hypocrisy. That's as clear as I can put it. Those people that you're talking about that like to tell you, like you said, oh, don't do this, don't do that. They don't do it because they don't want you to do it. They do it because it makes them feel better and more holy than you by pointing out the fact that you're doing it and they don't do it. It's very much like a Pharisee,
Right.
You want to be as pious as you can be because it makes you feel better than the person next to you. Because as long as you're not doing what they're doing, then obviously you're doing better, right?
What you think, Janessa?
Yeah.
I mean, this is actually tugging at my brain because I've never thought about it this way. And I think just kind of thinking about it now, when I watch like an action movie and they're killing everybody, it could be, I don't know.
Thou shalt not kill them.
It's just like I've never sat there and been like, oh my gosh, this is not what God wants. He doesn't want us to kill all these people. Like,
right.
Like I just don't sit there and watch it. And so now I'm thinking maybe am I numb to it? Have we watched it so much that
Are you saying that God doesn't want Rambo to cut somebody's head off?
Just listening to the way Rudy is posing the question, I'm like, have we just become so numb that when we see a sex scene or a whole bunch of people, innocent people, it could be like a bank robbery and the gunman comes in and just kills everybody.
Right.
Like, have we gotten so numb that we don't filter or feel some type of way? Or are we supposed to feel some type of way because it's just acting, it's not real? Like, does God care about things that aren't real? But then it's like, this is one thing. Another assumption about PKs is that we know the Bible front to back, verse to verse. Paraphrase some scriptures. But the Bible does talk about guarding your heart and like guarding, I guess, what you take in because it can affect you. And so I don't know, maybe is there a level where you can watch it and it not affect you? Or are we all just, like I said, so numb to it that we're not realizing that we're not affected anymore? Like this, Rudy, you just.
Janessa, it's an outlet for our instincts as animals because we're animals. So our instincts are to kill and rape and procreate and so on and so forth. Well, it is that is in our instinct.
But I'm saying, but
here's the thing: by creating, by living with religion, every time you fight down and push down one of those instincts, it makes you feel like a better person, and that's what creates, in my opinion at least, that's what creates Pharisees, because you push down all your urges and you push down all your instincts, and then now all of a sudden you feel greater than. And you see somebody else do the thing that you push down. And it's like, why can't you be like me? Why can't you do what I did? And now all of a sudden you're being judgmental against people that might even be sitting next to you in church. Because you quit smoking, but they didn't quit smoking. So obviously you're closer to God than they are.
Right. I mean, and I mean, Janessa, you even kind of just even took it even a different route, even what I was even asking. Because I mean, that's a good perspective as well. Because I wasn't even really even thinking about it that way. Like I said, I really was just thinking about the more of the hypocrisy when it comes down to, you know, we can, because for one, the biggest hypocrite or hypocritical actions anyone can take in life, and it happens inside and outside the church, is we excuse people who are talented. You feel what I'm saying? So the more talented that you are, whether it's in basketball, whether it's directing the choir, playing the organ, playing the drums, preaching, whatever. Like if you that
smoking crack.
If you're that guy, but I'm saying, but like people still gave her a hard time about that. But I'm saying in the sense of like getting in trouble for something. Like if you're just Joe Blow, you know, sister so and so, you 17 and you got pregnant, like you probably don't get shamed. You know what I'm saying? But like if your 17-year-old baby daddy, you know what I'm saying, if he killing on the organ, they gonna know that he was with her, but they ain't, you know what I'm saying, he anointed. He gotta, you feel what I'm saying? Like he gotta, so that's already one hypocritical thing that we already just kind of just overlook stuff based off of, you know, a contribution, if you will. But then number two, not saying that it necessarily goes in this order, if this is even the top two, but the second thing is, or another thing is, I should say is that we will, whether you're in the pulpit or not, your parents, the Sunday school teacher, the minister, the deacons, whoever, they will, you know, they will tell you, like, you know, to not do this, not do that. Don't, you know, wait until you're married. You know what I'm saying? But then they favorite movie is like Waiting to Exhale or something. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a, and so for me, I'm just kind of like, well, what gives you the right to be able to enjoy a movie, TV show, whatever it is? I just keep using movies just because it's a simple example. But you watching your favorite movie and it has everything in it that, whether you do it yourself or not, you're telling and teaching other people to not do it. So my question is, like, when you become a Christian or whatever, should you just stick to, you know, facing giants? You know what I'm saying? You know, because I mean, low key, you can't even watch Medea stuff, because Medea, like, it be having like church, you know, connotation, but like Medea definitely got, you know, premarital squeezing in it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I got a good example. I see what you're saying now.
Hold on. Let I'm sorry to cut you off, but let Janessa go, because she hasn't spoken that much. I'm gonna come back to you, Terry. I'm sorry.
I have a question. No, so what about this? You know, when you talk about Medea, you know, for the most part, it starts one way, the person goes through a struggle, and then, you know, they end up at church and they find Jesus or something like that.
Right.
I think maybe in that context, you know, you show where the person went to or was and where they're going to, maybe that's okay to show. But I feel like a lot of movies aren't doing that. Like, for sure. Like for Terry's example of Rambo, I don't even think I've seen Rambo in its entirety. Rambo kills.
Never seen First Blood?
Huh?
No, I just named the movie. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just don't think, you know, in, I don't know, what's Jurassic Park, you know, they go kill all the dinosaurs and then find Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't.
Well, if there's Jesus, there's no dinosaurs. It's got to be one way or the other. It can't be both.
I don't.
You can't watch Jurassic Park if you're deeply religious. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
Cause like Rudy, I'm thinking about it, because I'm like, okay, well, I guess what would be acceptable things to watch if you're not watching Shoot 'em Up, Kill 'em Up, or
nothing?
Animal Planet?
Facing the Giants.
There you go. Nice one.
You can watch Facing the Giants, Fireproof, Veggie Tales, War Room. All that. You can what's the one with Ja Rule and Adrian Ballon?
preacher's girl, preacher's kid. I think.
I'm married. I'm in love with a church girl or something like that.
I mean, could you watch Jeopardy and Judge? I don't know.
Yeah, you can. Sure. Yeah. And by the way, when I was gonna say I was just trying to put a finer point on what you were saying and that kind of hypocrisy, because I remember one of my grandmothers when I was like 17, 18, I went back and I had brought over a girl that I was dating. Like I brought my girlfriend with me, and her shorts were a little bit short. Like they weren't like Daisy Dukes, but they were a little bit short. And we were all just sitting around, and she used to watch soap operas during the day. And we all know what soap operas are, right? Like nothing but murder and espionage and people banging everybody left and right and having illegitimate children with their twin brother and so on and so forth. And meanwhile, we're sitting here watching like Days of Our Lives or whatever. And my grandmother, she leaves the room, she goes, "Don't you think those shorts are a little bit short?" And I'm like, what are you watching right now? We're watching a sex scene between two married people, so to speak, having an affair on both of their spouses, but her shorts are too short. Got it. All right.
Right. Yeah.
A little questionable on the morality. If you're, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, but if you're a Christian, your entire life's mantra should begin and end at the New Testament, because when I read the Bible, it reads like two parts. Old Testament's vengeful, wrathful God that's got all his rules and regulations, and it's all just murder and war and this and that and parables. And then the New Testament's all about love and acceptance and this and that. And it's the introduction of Jesus that makes the difference there between the two. Because if you're going to go by the whole Bible, then you shouldn't be eating shellfish. You shouldn't be eating pork. You shouldn't be wearing mixed fabrics. You shouldn't be, you know what I mean? There's a million of them that we do every day. So, I mean, just pick a lane, man, and try to be good. Try to be Christ-like. How about that? Just end your day on that one. If somebody's doing something you're not supposed to be doing, be empathetic and forgiving, not judgmental.
So will Jesus watch the Players Club if he was on Earth right now?
He would, and it would be like, he would give them advice on how to not be players.
No. I'm talking about. Have you seen the Players Club?
No. That's why. That's why.
It's not.
Thing, because I'm like, I have nothing to add to the conversation.
Well, no. Players Club has nothing to do with it. It's a strip club movie.
Yes.
But
Jesus would go to the strip club.
That's what I'm saying. But would Jesus
reach the people?
But I'm saying, would Jesus watch Players Club if he was on Earth right now simply for entertainment, just enjoy? Oh, they got a new movie coming out, Players Club. I'm gonna watch this. Would Jesus watch it if he was on Earth right now?
I don't think Jesus needed entertainment. I don't.
It's not about that. I'm saying just because first of all, we don't know the answer to this question, but this is just all opinionated. Just yes or no. Do you think with who you vision Jesus to be, if he was here on Earth still right now, and we had to go buy tickets to go see the Players Club in the movies? Obviously, it's an old movie, but if it were just coming out, would Jesus pull up and go watch it simply for entertainment?
Janessa?
I think so. But I know what the Players Club is about. So I just don't think that's something that Jesus will want to see. Now, if he can find it to be a teachable moment, he can reach one.
But I'm saying, is that what we supposed to be doing? Are we supposed to be watching Players Club to get sermons? Or are we supposed to be watching Players Club just to watch Players Club?
I'll tell you what, I'll give you an answer. So you're basically saying let's say you and your friends are hanging out with Jesus, right? Y'all are just out on a Friday night and you're hanging out with Jesus. And you and your friends say, "Hey, Jesus, we're going to go in here and watch Players Club. You want to come?" I think his answer would be like, "No, you go ahead. It's not a movie for me, but I'll be outside when you get back. And I just want to talk to people walking by." I think that's what it was.
I mean, that's pretty much
way more entertained by talking to people.
That's pretty much the same thing that Janessa is saying. That's neither here nor there. So, but my question is, so with us being Christ-like, are we supposed to sit outside the theater and talk to people, or are we going inside to watch Players Club? That's what I want to know.
If I'm hanging with Jesus, I'm not.
Whether you hanging with Jesus or not, what I'm saying is, will you being Christ-like, being a preacher's kid, whatever title you want to label, you supposed to be the moral person, whatever. Are we supposed to hang out and talk to the people and let everybody else go watch it, or do we go inside and watch it? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What are we supposed to be doing here on earth as children of God?
According to the Bible, we're supposed to be sharing the good news. And
24 hours a day?
I honestly feel like we are, to a certain, like, I think in the Bible it says that we were created to worship God and please God. And so I really do sometimes feel like that's what we're supposed to be doing, but the way society is set up and just the way we've kind of been brought up, don't do that necessarily.
It's kind of messed up that God will allow the Players Club and pornography and the internet to exist and then be like, no, you should be worshiping me 24 hours a day. Like, that's kind of messed up. Like, why make the temptations then? Is this just
the Bible talks about that God, he's not going to force anybody. He gives us the willpower to choose. And so maybe that's what he wants. He wants people who are genuinely choosing him, regardless of what else is available that's out here.
So the Amish, then, that's really what you're talking about. You're talking about the Amish.
I'm not sure what the Amish believe.
The Amish believe in living humbly, living simply, and not spending a moment without worshiping God.
But let's go back to this though. Remember,
no electricity.
One of y'all, if not both of y'all, mentioned that it's not so much about what's coming out of your mouth, but it's about what's in your heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we look at the heart of the movie Players Club, it is much bigger than just butt cheeks swinging around the pole. It is a real story about real life stripper situation where this is a girl who's using stripping to pay her way through college and raise her son. She does not want to be a stripper, but she became the best so that she could provide. Mm-hmm. Now, this is what I'm saying. Now, if we look at that story, those are I know people in that situation as we speak. You feel what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, so with that being the heart of what Players Club is about, and it's not just,
strippers
stripping. Should Jesus go see Players Club? Because of judging by the heart of the creation of it, or because of the content itself that just automatically disqualifies him from being able to lay eyes on it?
Well, he hung out with a prostitute a lot, so yeah, I'd say he'd probably go in. He'd probably hang out.
I mean, but even hanging out with a stripper, I mean, if, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can hang out with a police officer, but if he's off duty, he's not walking around in uniform arresting people. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm talking about seeing somebody at their job. Almost kind of like how I talked about, like, when I was saying our parents would come to, like, if we did comedy or whatever it is that we do. But more or less in this situation, with Players Club being about what I just explained, is it now okay for Jesus to see that film, or should he still not see it because the viewer discretion is advised?
I don't think that applies to Christ.
I'm not saying Jesus is gonna get a hard on by watching it, but I'm just saying in general. Like, I thought
I was supposed to be the inflammatory one on here.
How's that in what? I can't say Jesus is not gonna get a hard on. I can't say that.
Can Jesus get a hard on? Like,
I don't know, but what I'm saying, the point I'm making is, I was saying that I'm not saying that it was going that deep.
Waters, sir. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not at all.
Dangerous waters.
Because I said that Jesus. I'm not saying that Jesus is going to have a hard on. I'm saying that I'm not saying Jesus is going to have a hard on. So because I use that terminology, now I'm in hot water.
I don't think he's going to have one because he's perfect.
Right. No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to have a hard on. But all y'all heard was Jesus have a hard on.
Would it also be perfect? That's all I'm asking. Like,
I don't see. Now that's too far. See, I didn't do that.
That's too far.
But I'm saying,
the subject.
How he said, but if he had a hard on,
would it also be perfect? Would it be the perfect erection?
See, that's what I'm saying. See, I didn't go that far. All I said was Jesus didn't have a heart, was not going to have a heart.
You broached the subject, and you got my weird brain thinking. You know what I mean?
Your brain works the way it works before you met me. Okay.
All right. I know, but you breadcrumbed this question out.
No, sir. I didn't. No, sir. You did it on your own.
I thought the whole subject matter was inappropriate, to be honest with you.
My question still remains the same, though, in reference to the context of the movie and Jesus now seeing it. Because y'all first answer was judging off of the fact of it being a stripper movie.
Well, here's the simple answer. The simple answer to all these questions that you're talking about Christ is, in my opinion, if Christ was in fact the Son of God, then anything he does is perfect. He is God manifested in man form. So whatever he does is infallible, and it's not for us to understand.
That's a cute answer now, but that's not what I'm asking.
That's not a cute answer. That is the only logical answer.
But I'm not asking for logic. I'm asking for your answer. We already know that whatever you tell me isn't written in stone of right or wrong.
Well, then I'm saying using Jesus as an example.
Why? So who should we use?
Because whatever he does is right.
But this is what I'm saying. But it goes back to what you said earlier about us being Christ-like. Okay. Right. So if we're going to be Christ-like, that means that our actions should be a replica of what Christ would do in a situation. So what I'm saying is that if we're going to be Christ-like, do we in turn not go inside the movie and stand outside and talk to people? Or do we go inside the movie because of what the movie is actually about in the story, and we don't necessarily not see it because you're going to see some skin in the process? That's what I'm asking. And what you feel Jesus would do, my question is, do you think that we should do that exact same thing, or is it different from us because we're not Jesus?
Well, I think, like I said, I think earlier, Jesus would find ways to bring everybody to him. Like, he doesn't want one person to not go to heaven. So
he says you, though. You.
Huh?
What is it? He's asking what our decision is, not Jesus.
Yeah.
What our decision is if we're trying to be Christ-like.
I'm getting there. So I think Jesus would, if Jesus watched the Players Club, it's because it's in conjunction with him bringing somebody to him. Mm. Now for us, I feel like we should be doing the same thing that Jesus would be doing, but we are flawed. So instead of us, like, Rudy, you said, somebody who's in that same situation, mm-hmm. Instead of like watching that and then maybe coming up with some talking points, maybe you don't even need to watch that to come up with some talking points, to talk to the person, to help them out and figure out, when the Players Club, she did this and then she got out and she started, I'm just using this as an example.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Most of us, we miss that step. We don't do that. We just watch it and call it a day,
Entertainment. Right.
So I think we all should be doing more on a daily basis if we're going to be Christ-like, but we are not Christ. We are flawed. We sin. We fall short. And so that's kind of, I think, the difference between what we are doing versus what Jesus would do.
But so does that make us qualified or justified to go watch the movie because we are flawed, or should we, like one of y'all was saying earlier about like worshiping 24/7 or whatever, like should we be more on that tip where we don't even give room for flaw to even show up? Or do we just live life and just understand that flaw is going to be there?
Well, when I was younger, and I was trying to figure out this kind of stuff, like late teens, early 20s, and I'm really trying to understand what the difference is. Because, you opened a hell of a can of worms here, Rudy.
Absolutely. That's the point of this podcast.
Because you're talking about morality inside of religion. And morality is nothing but a continuation of an argument of competing concepts of the good, right? Because if you go to another part of the world, then, stoning a woman who got raped, that's the right thing to do as far as God is concerned. But if you come here, that's horrific. So you're talking about competing concepts of the good. I always came back to the same philosophy, which is that human beings have something that no other animal on the planet has, no other organism, a conscience. We feel good or we feel bad based on the actions and decisions we make. So my answer to you is, it depends on how you feel walking into that movie. If you feel ashamed going into that movie, then you shouldn't be there. If you feel okay going into that movie, then you're fine. Because I always thought when I was younger that our conscience was our connection to whatever power created us. It's telling us that we're doing right or we're doing wrong. And that's why you have that feeling. That's the thought that I had when I was younger. It's expounded over the years, but I'm not going to get into that as a long conversation. So that's my answer. Whatever you do in life, whether it be seeing a players club or whether it be going to the strip club, if you feel bad doing it, stop doing it.
But what if you don't feel bad because you don't know there's anything to feel bad about?
That's your conscience, and they're all different, and they're all tailored to each one of us.
Does that make you wrong? Like is because for one,
I just answered it. If you don't feel bad doing it,
but hold on one
second.
For one, you have to come to a conclusion of what is right or wrong when it comes down to watching the Players Club or not. Like, is this right or is this wrong? Should we be watching it or should we not be watching the Players Club? And once again, shout out to the Players Club. This has no. We're just using this as an example, okay? I could have used any movie, okay? I don't want players, Ice Cube, whoever, to attack me. It's not that.
Let's go to striptease. Let's put on the white stripper movie.
But I'm saying, like,
fair and balanced.
If you, as a Christian, as a preacher's kid, all these different things, you go to the movies and you go and Players Club is coming out. Just say you go into the movies in general, and you got Players Club coming out, and then you got Facing the Giants, right? Shout out to both of those movies. I've seen both. Great movies. Okay, what I'm saying is, should you choose? Facing the Giants was good. I mean, it was low budget, but it was good. Should you see Facing the Giants simply because of all these things that we're talking about, or should you just decide which one you want to watch just based off of your liking and your interest, and it should not matter what your, just say, religious background or whatever, or affiliation or beliefs, or even what Jesus would do in that situation? Should none of that matter, or should you predicate that decision based off of what you think what Jesus would do, or what would be the Christ-like thing to do in that situation?
I really wish my father was here right now.
But he's not. His kid is.
I know. I'm doing my best. All right. I'm not him. I'm just.
That's why we're us though. And once again, it's not like if y'all don't have an answer, it's not, you don't fail. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not that. But I'm proposing this question because it's something that I've thought about before. You know what I'm saying? And not that it's been like a direct attack on me per se, but this is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
But that seems like what you're talking about. It seems to me like you're talking about guilt. You're talking about guilt that comes from your conscience. You see Facing the Giants in one theater, and you see Players Club in the other theater, and you know that part of you the bigger part of you wants to go see Players Club, but the good part of you, it's devil and angels on your shoulders, and the good part of you is trying to get you to go see Facing the Giants. And you're talking about whether it makes you right or wrong, whichever one you do.
I'm asking, is that even the devil? I'm asking, is that even a devil's side that's leading you to Players Club? Who says that's the devil's side? Why does that have to be the devil's side? That's what I'm asking. Is that
because you're asking?
I'm asking, is that even the devil's side, or is that okay? Why
what
can't
I'm saying. The mere fact that you're asking means that there's guilt behind it. If there was no guilt, you would just see the movie you wanted to see. But if there's guilt involved,
I'm saying I want to see regardless. This has nothing to do with me. I'm saying
if you have to ask yourself the question, there's a philosophy that says that every time you face a parable in your life, every time you face a fork in the road in two paths to go down, the right path is the one you don't want to take. Because if the path you wanted to take was the right one, there wouldn't be a question. You would just do that. You would just go that way. But anytime there's a moral fork in the road, the right path is always the one that you don't want to take.
But what I'm saying is, but what makes the Players Club the wrong path? Is it simply because it has a positive message with graphic images and the other one doesn't? Or is that what makes it the bad one? Because that's literally the difference between the two movies.
No, like I just said, it depends on where you are and your environment. Because stoning a woman for being raped in one part of the world is righteous, and in another part of the world, it's evil. It's what defines you is the environment and the morality that you were raised to believe in.
Right. But I mean, but that's just like saying at one point in time, and this is not to get this deep, but I'm saying like when slavery
Oh,
existed.
we're deep already.
No, but I'm saying not to get as deep as far as like race stuff. I'm saying like when slavery existed, that was okay because it was legal amongst the people who was in charge of like doing it, but it didn't necessarily make it not evil, is what I'm saying. Like it still was an evil thing. So if somebody's stoning a woman on the other side of the world may be legal, but I don't think that takes the evil or the moral. I don't think that makes it okay just because it's legal over there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what they do over there, but it's still. That's why they use it as a punishment because it's harsh. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not okay.
Well,
it's like, but you have.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that we had that's a bad example because the fact that we had abolitionists in this country during the time of slavery means that certain people knew it was right and certain people knew it was wrong.
Right, but that brings me back to my point of earlier. How can you feel bad about something if you don't know it's wrong? Because my whole thing is stoning somebody to death. I can think of very few reasons where that would be justified. You feel what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is just because it's custom and y'all are accustomed to it doesn't necessarily make it any less harsh or whatever of it is. It's just once to their perspective of what you're saying, they're just used to it. So yeah, they see it every day, so it doesn't bother them. But it's still a gruesome thing.
I just love the fact that you said there's very few reasons to justifiably stone someone to death. Like there's.
I'm saying like if somebody killed my mom, I would probably
someone to death.
If somebody killed my mom, I'd probably stone them to death. Is what I'm saying. Like I make them suffer.
Oh, that's killing for vengeance, man. That's a sin.
I mean, whatever. You know.
All right.
I wasn't gonna backtrack. If you kill my mom, and God, you're gonna have to deal with me. You know what I'm saying?
There's only one righteous way to kill any human being, and that is in the name of God. That's it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I don't ever end up in that situation. But nonetheless,
seems like you're coming up with justifiable reasons to kill people.
I mean, as long as they don't touch my mom.
Janessa, say something. You've been quiet for so long, and we're sitting here debating each other.
No, I'm letting y'all have this one. I had nothing to say.
But it's not really.
Do we have any more subjects? Really because we're going to go on this spinning.
Well, no, I mean, I'm getting ready to wrap it up, but it's not really a debate for me because I'm not really on one side or the other. I'm just posing the question. You feel what I'm saying? And with
an impossible question to answer.
But I mean, and that's fine. If you feel like if that's the conclusion that you come to, that's fine. Nobody has to leave here with a definitive answer. I'm not saying that, but I just want to be clear on what it is that I'm asking. In the sense of we answer one thing about, okay, well, what would Jesus do in this situation? Well, I feel like Jesus would or would not do this because of X, Y, B, Z. Okay, boom. Now, as a result of that, should we make that exact same decision, or are we justified when we don't make that decision because we are flawed? That's what I want to know. And if you don't have the answer, that's fine. But that's the question that I'm asking.
Go, girl.
Well, I think I said my answer was just like, yeah, this is X, Y, Z is what Jesus probably would do. And what I do oftentimes is not what Jesus would probably do. And, that's something I'm going to have to either work on or take it to Jesus or,
So you don't think it justifies it because you're flawed. You think that you're supposed to find a correction for it.
Well, going back to what I was saying, like I just earlier, like I do believe the Bible says this. I don't think I'm making it up. That talks about like that God created us to worship Him, and that's what we're put on earth to do. And like I said, I don't know if you're supposed to do it 24/7 or the majority of your time. But I think if we're all honest with ourselves, how much time do we spend spreading Jesus, the word, the good news about Jesus dying, and on the third day he rose with all power and he went to go prepare a place for us and he sits on the right hand of God. Like how much time of our lives are we giving that message out? So I think, of course, there's always room for improvement for that. But at the same time, you know, the Bible says that, you know, we all have sinned. We've all sinned and fallen short. No one's righteous and all of this. So, you know, there's a level, I think, where God understands that we're not going to be perfect in everything we do. And he's already acknowledged that in the Bible.
He made you,
justify
which
us
means
watching the Players Club? That's what I want. Can we watch the Players Club or not? Or should we turn it, any movie in the context of Players Club like content? Should we turn it down because we need to be focused on this righteousness? That's what I want to know. As far as consuming content, not if you preaching the gospel 24/7, how long you pray. Can you consume?
Seems like we've put a lot of time into this question.
I didn't. I thought about it an hour before we started because that's when I found out, you know.
No, I'm saying we now have put a good 20 minutes into this Players Club.
Oh, longer than that. Even longer than that for sure. But that's my final question. If anybody has a response for that, can we watch Players Club like content? Once again, shout out to Players Club. It's not a diss to that particular movie, but just content that has a message. Yet the visuals are going to be graphic because of the context of the movie. Can we watch Players Club, or should we do what we feel like Jesus is going to do and either stay outside and talk to the people or go watch Facing Giants? So I want to know, can we watch Players Club or not? What y'all think? You don't have to be right or wrong. This not Judgment Day. Just what you think.
I feel like the only judgment you're going to get on that is a human judgment. It's either going to come from yourself, who is human, or you're going to get it from somebody else who is also human.
I'm asking you. You're a human. I want to know your human answer.
That's what I'm trying to get to. I want to know I don't give short answers. I don't.
You're going deep. I just want a yes or a no.
Yeah, well, you can't say yes or no to a question like that. The naked human form. Look, when it came to being in paradise, the naked human form was not to be shameful. It wasn't. The only time that we started becoming shameful of our naked bodies was when we were kicked out of paradise.
Okay, let me ask you this question then. So after this conversation, are you watching Players Club, or are you done watching Players Club?
Well, I feel like I kind of have to now because I haven't seen it.
No, I'm saying any movie that's like it. Any movie that's like it that you have seen. Any movie with sinful nature content, are you going to watch it after this conversation or not?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch a movie that is secular with violence or sexuality a lot faster than I'm gonna bring up, Jesus's dick. Thanks a lot for that one, Rudy.
Gotcha. I definitely didn't use the word dick, but okay.
Okay, you brought it up.
Go ahead.
Right?
I really did.
That's way worse than watching Players Club, in my opinion.
I really, really did. Go ahead, Janessa. What were you gonna say?
Nothing.
I'm saying in reference to
I'm done.
Just your fun answer. It's like it's no right or wrong. I just want to know, like, just do you think
well,
yes,
I don't
you're
think
going to watch secular movies.
Yeah, I will watch secular movies. I will say, as I've gotten older, I'm not specifically for like sex scenes or stripping, like, or nudity. I don't really want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll tell you when, and this is no diss to P-Valley. I watched the first episode and was like, I'm good.
I never seen it, but I understand. Gotcha.
I'm just not. So I'm not going to say I'm not going to watch anything that's secular that doesn't have any sin in it. But there are some things that I feel like as I've gotten older, I'm just not into any. Like,
right. Once again,
to see it. Ooh.
The whole Players Club, Strip Club, that just was literally a movie I just thought of. Whatever. It was, I'm not even forcing that. It could be anything. But yeah, that was my thought. That was my thought of the day. So I think I frustrated you guys enough, so we can wrap it up.
It's a big can of worms you opened.
It's the point. I'm always trying to open big cans of worms.
Oh, you opened a big one today, man. You're just talking about basic human morality versus religious morality.
I mean, even just giving my answer, I do. I have a different type of mind. I always kind of watch movies with the whole point of a message. Now, granted, I'm not necessarily thinking about it with a message, that I was like planning on taking to the pulpit. But I just do look for messages like in movies. But
Can I throw you a philosophical question out to you?
What's up?
If, let's say, there's a nuclear holocaust, disease, whatever, something wipes out all of humanity except for you and a woman. So it's you and a woman, and it's your job to procreate, to recreate the human race. However, there's nobody around to marry you. Is your sex sinful or not?
How do I know it's?
People have been wondering about this for hundreds of years. We're not going to figure it out.
No. But I'm saying, but how do I know that it's my job to recreate all of humanity though? Who told me that?
You're the only two people left.
I'm saying, but that don't mean it's my job to do that. I'm saying, who told me it was my job to do that?
I guess you're right. Just the end of humanity, and then.
I'm saying, because like if God told me, then I wouldn't be stressed no marriage.
No, God doesn't talk to you. It's you and your decision.
But I mean, I just made it up on my own. So whatever, if I'm just doing that on my own, then yeah, that's sinful. Because nobody told me that was my job to recreate the whole humanity. That's just me doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting answer.
Yeah.
What if you're not attracted to the woman, but you just have to do it for the physical, biological reason of creating?
The question still remains: who told?
You're not into it. You gain no pleasure out of it.
The question still remains: who told me? It's not about how she looks. Who told me to do that? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Now, if I was told to do this,
here's to the end of humanity. Then,
if I was told to do this and she was here, then I'd be like, "Come on, God! Like you know what I'm saying?" But but I mean, I make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm obedient. Believe it or not, that's how I'm even in LA. Long story short, but anyways, I think this is a great conversation. Nice, good can of worms.
This was a lot, Rudy. I wasn't ready. Like I've been on.
Rudy brought us into some weird places today, man. He brought us into weird spots.
This is good though. This is good. I appreciate both of your feedback. You know what I'm saying? I really do, sincerely. You know what I'm saying? Because it's good to get a different perspective. Like I said, I'm asking the question and of course playing devil's advocate, but I'm not necessarily on one side or the other. But I have to, push the thought process to see, just how far we can go with it. So I think we did that. Shout out to Kellie Lee. She'll be back next week. And I'm actually curious to see what she thinks about it. So maybe we can squeeze it in another time later down the line. But next time we will reconvene on our normal topics in reference to our parents and their travel schedules, how that affects us. And also, I guess the other question I asked was, what's the most non-pastor thing that your pastor parent has ever done? I.e., has they ever taken a shot with you? Have they ever seen Players Club?
No.
Or did they stay outside and minister the gospel?
Oh, goodness.
But we'll talk about that more next week, man. Janessa, you got anything you want to plug? Instagram, websites, all that type of stuff?
You can find me at JRiana _JRiana _ on Instagram. And yeah, that's it for now.
That's it for now. Terry Wayne.
Debate philosophy with me on Terry Wayne Comedy at all platforms.
Gotcha. And RudyComedy.com for me. You can find this podcast at the No Life Boys Productions YouTube and Instagram page. And that's No Life Boys, NOLIFEBOYZZ. Productions. Anything else? I think that's it. All right, cool. Well, like I said, this was great. This was fun. If you guys have any other topics that you guys want to discuss, whether it's viewers or you two here, put it in the comments. Let us know. We'll chop up about it. We are the worst ones. We are preacher's kids, and hopefully we are making our parents proud. Until next time.